The jackfruits are really coming along now, and as you can see, this one here is getting to be a really good size and is really starting to fill out now. You can see these beautiful nice bulges and starting to stretch. So we're well on our way to jackfruit season. Good morning everyone. It is a beautiful day today in far north Queensland, and we are down in the jackfruit orchard picking jackfruit leaves. Not jackfruits, jackfruit leaves. So we had an inquiry from one of our customers in the southern states asking if we could send him some jackfruit leaves. And I have to be honest, Ian and I at first were thinking, what would jackfruit leaves possibly be used for? So we reached out to some of our Indian friends because we were curious, and they told us that a popular dish in India is Khotto Idli. Apologies if I've said that wrong. And so the jackfruit leaves are actually used to make the khotto, which are little baskets, and they're held together with little sticks. And then inside that is poured the idli batter, and then they are steamed. So we're picking the jackfruit leaves for him today. We need to make sure that we pick the larger size leaves and make sure that they're not too soft. So we need to avoid picking the very new leaves that are too soft, but we also don't need them to be dry and crispy. So this sort of leaf would be perfect for what they're looking for, and we will be shipping them off to him today by express post, so he should have them in a couple of days.
Hey folks, it's the next day, and job for today is checking the pH. Before the wet season, January, February, we went round and put dolomite out. We've gone through the wet season, so we've had, I haven't calculated it, but it's going to be somewhere in the region of 3 meters of worth of water, 6 feet, thereabouts. So we're checking the pH. pH 6.8. This water is distilled, demineralized water. So neutral pH. Come down somewhere else, have another check. Move some of the mulch. Slide that into the ground. .9. Always interesting how even though you treat the paddock the same, the soil can change through the entire paddock. Look there. Not going to be too long before we're picking. Go round to another row, and then I've also got to check the canicels. Pop this in, gentle, calibrating. .59. So I'm going to say that we don't want to increase it too much. Obviously if you put lime on, that increases it quite a bit. Dolomite we'll increase it a little bit. So probably not far off what we'd expect now that we're at the end of the wet season. So what I'm wondering, what we might think about doing after we've gone through everywhere is yeah, that's 6.2. Might put gypsum out. Gypsum is still going to increase the calcium levels, but won't affect the pH, because don't want to push it too high. Yeah, have a look at the data that we've got wrote down after the soil tests. But if you're going to put any calcium out, then yeah, it's going to be gypsum, I think, because this pH will very slowly reduce through the winter period, but not by that much compared to, like, we've just gone through the wet season with a lot of rain. Oh. Trimmed off their fruit so that this one develops, and we've got more coming here. Got to go around. The thinning out thing is at this time of the year, where we are July. This is our fruit set period. So yeah, it is a bit of an ongoing constant thing that we have to do until the flowering is finished.
We also had some visitors this week, our wonderful friends from Malaysia. So back in 2017, we took a trip to Malaysia because at the time we were interested in potentially growing durian on our farm. We were already growing jackfruit, but we were looking at maybe growing durian. So we went over to Malaysia to try and get some information on how durian is farmed over there. And before we went, we got in touch with a lovely durian farmer who kindly offered to pick us up and take us to his farm. He showed us around his farm. He invited some of his farmer friends and showed us grafting. He took us to one of his friends' jackfruit farms, which was really interesting. We had lunch, and not only did he do all of that, he then took us to some Malaysian tourist spots, I suppose, and also treated us to Malaysian coffee, which was lovely, and a Malaysian delicacy called ABC. We had an absolutely wonderful time over there, and the generosity shown by him and his friends was just unbelievable. Just such a lovely bunch of people, and we can't thank them enough for what they did. And anyway, fast forward to now, and him and his extended family are traveling around Australia, and in particular the east coast of Queensland. So he got in touch and said, could he visit the farm? Of course, we were absolutely delighted, and they came around. He didn't have much time because they were stopping off at quite a few places. They had an itinerary that they really wanted to stick to, so we only had a few hours to spend with them. But it was a really wonderful afternoon, and we made them turon rolls, which is actually a Filipino dish, and we've done a video on that before with the jackfruit, banana, brown sugar, and wrapped in spring rolls and fried. They'd actually never had that before or heard of it, and so they completely polished off the plate of turon rolls. They loved it, so that was really nice. And then we showed them around the farm, and then we took them to a couple of tourist spots in Tully that they were keen to go and explore. And it was really wonderful, and it was so nice to be able to repay some of the generosity that they showed us when we went to Malaysia. Such a wonderful, lovely group. And yeah, we had a great afternoon. So that was really nice this week for them to come and visit. And I've popped up some of the photos of their visit here, and we'll definitely keep in touch with them, but just wanted to share that because it was really nice for us. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. It was a short one this week, and once again, thanks to everyone for watching, liking, sharing and subscribing, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.